And looks like Tim's braked really early, and we're down the inside. We're up, but no, Tim turns in. Welcome to Radical Underdogs. This time it is quite an eventful race. It's a bit of a difficult one for me to commentate on, actually, because I think a few of these incidents are more than a little bit my fault, and I do apologise to those around me where it does impact on them. But we're now actually on the grid, so let's go through the start sequence now. And the red lights are on, and they are off, and it is another good start. Actually, we're catching the two cars in front. That's Christopher Stapleton in number 12 and Jamie Turner in car number 9. We're passing him. I don't think we're going to get past Christopher Stapleton as well. So he's settling in now into the first corner at Copse. Everyone is through fairly cleanly. Looking back through the field, looks like there's no accidents behind us as well. And we can see up ahead of us. And this is the first time through the Beckett's complex. We've got Graham Rumsey in car 45 straight behind us. It looks like he's almost getting to the back of us, but actually we're through cleanly. A little bit of a slide through Beckett's for the first time. A bit wide there. That's not going to be good for the run down the hangar straight, because we're not going to be able to get the slipstream, which is all important. So I'm kind of a bit in no man's land. I'm not really close enough to Christopher Stapleton, and I think Graham Rumsey's probably going to pick up that slipstream behind me. As you can see, I've lost touch with the car in front, but Graham is still catching, and he might well get to. He's going to brake later than me. I think that's I brake a bit too early, a bit too conservative through Stowe, and Graham Rumsey is through and stays on the track pretty much as well on the exit. So actually losing a place there, having had a good start there, and we go down into sequence of corners, Vale Club, and Graham's facing the other way, and it looks like a bit of chaos behind, but I think most people will make it through. We're now side by side with Robert Greensmith in car 122, and we are still side by side down the Hamilton Straight. We're still side by side, and actually we're pulling away a little bit. I think we've got a little bit of extra power in this car. It seems as though it's working out for us down the Hamilton Straight, and Robert did back off as we went through Abbey. Now I'm going to have to go defensive now as we go down into Village. I think there's Aaron Della Pala as well behind Robert there. So I think Robert's got his hands full defending, which means that he wasn't able to take the wide line there. So I was very, very shallow through Village, the Loop, and Aintree. And normally that means you're going to be under pressure as you go down the Wellington Straight, but this time I'm trying to break the slipstream going side to side. Robert is following that through, so he is getting a bit of a slipstream benefit, but not really closing up very quickly. I missed a heel and toe downshift, and that meant that the car is now out wide, which means we're a bit under pressure now as we go through Luffield. This is the end of the first lap. Actually, but it does appear that we've been able to keep that position. Robert now under pressure from Aaron Darapala behind him, and he's closing. He's going to be passed. Looks like he's going to be passed down that start-finish straight as we go into Copse. So Aaron is there ahead, and he's now straight behind us. And he's been very quick actually as we go through Beckett's. In last race, I think you'll recall he actually passed me into Beckett's, which is quite unusual. And he's going to try and do the same move again. There's no room. I'm closing the door this time. I'm wise to that. But he is extremely quick through Beckett's, which means he's going to have a very good exit as we go out onto the hangar straight. He's dropped back a bit, but I think that's probably just getting a better exit out of Chapel. So he's now going to be getting a really good slipstream as you go down the hangar straight, and there's probably no way of defending this. So I can just kind of move to the racing line, and it looks as though he's got all the way through. As we go down, and all the cars are streaming through. I braked way too early. We're going to be pushed all the way out wide. That's like 2-3 cars going through. We're out wide off the circuit, rejoining safely. Robert Greensmith gives us a bit of room, moving us coverly back onto the racing line. But we've got contact. Contact again into the side of 6-8 quarters. I mean, let's have a look at that again if we can get back to a replay, and we'll look out the back this time. There's so many cars. It's very difficult to keep track of where everyone was. So you can see going wide and then trying to rejoin the track, which I did do safely, and then rejoining the racing line. I thought there was only one car, but there's actually 2 cars there on the inside. Made contact with Lee Newnham in 337, which just kind of spits me out into hitting Dave in car 666 there. A racing incident. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think that's also a little bit my fault. I had no idea where that came from. So unfortunately, the camera's now a bit askew as well. But I had no idea where that came from. So I mean, to apologise to Lee. I mean, you kind of cut him off. It's a difficult one. There are so many cars around. I left room for 1 car on the inside, but I didn't realise there were 2 there. We're now recovering, a bit of adrenaline flowing, I think, for everyone involved, and Dave is right behind us. He's looking to get back through, and he's been able to do what Robert wasn't able to do on the last lap, and he's been able to take that wide the line because he wasn't under pressure from behind, which means he's now side by side as we get down the Wellington Straight, and that we're going to be, well, actually I've been able to pick up maybe, I don't know what they've been doing there, but there's certainly picking up the slipstream from Tim Storer in front, and looks like Tim's braked really early, and we're down the inside, but no, Tim turns in, I'm pretty sure that's my fault. Bit of a dive bomb down the inside, damaged both to my car and Tim's car. Let's look at that again. So we're going down into Brooklands. I wasn't planning on passing here, but Tim brakes very early. My braking point is at that the turn marker really, and almost got alongside, but that door was always going to close. It was Tim's line to take. I realised it was a mistake straight away, and actually I go up to, the first thing I try and do when I get out of the race is apologise to Tim. You can see a little clip of that in the bottom left, trying to apologise to Tim afterwards. But yeah, if he's watching this, apologise again. That door was always going to close. It was really a bit impatient to try and jump down the inside there. Could have stuck with it through Brooklands, to be honest, and probably passed, as Graham Rumsey is now about to do, having had his spin. I've had my spin, and we're back together again. I probably didn't defend the inside line, and Graham's all the way through, using a lot of runoff there, but he does make it all the way through. And really, as we go back through this fantastic sequence of corners, which you only get on the Grand Prix circuit, which is the Maggots, Beckett's Chapel complex of corners. It's a really excellent piece of racetrack. It's a real shame that you don't get it in the international or the national circuit. But we're actually going to skip through. That's 2 laps of the race. The rest of this race is basically me driving around on my own. As you see it here, you know, I don't really catch up to the cars in front. You see, actually, the very last corner of the race, I think I might be Jamie Turner getting a bit sideways, but not sideways enough for me to catch him. And this is very much the last corner of the race, so we did actually skip the rest of the race. I didn't really want you watching me driving around my own after having made 2 mistakes on the second lap. But there we are. There's the checkered flag. I think we're down in 21st. We lose quite a few positions. We're not last, so we still pick up points, and points do mean prizes. But apologies to those who got involved in those mistakes. But just to show that you do sometimes make mistakes. We're just going to go through now to see how the team reacted to me coming back into the paddock.
The front like that weren't like that when he started, was it?
No.
That side.
Yeah, had a bit of contact.
No shit, we heard it. Genuine, yeah.
So was keep it safe.
Oh, the 3D printed headlights survived.
Fantastic, good. The one thing you can replace cheaply. What about the rest of it?